Mastering research ethics violations. Our organization must crush coercion, empowering participants to consent freely. How can our organization guarantee that its researchers implement rigorous safeguards to prevent research participants from being subjected to undue influence or coercion, thereby upholding the utmost respect for their autonomy and voluntary consent throughout the entire research process? To ensure that research participants are protected from undue influence or coercion, our organization can implement the following measures to guarantee rigorous safeguards throughout the entire research process. 1. Clear and transparent informed consent process. Develop and implement a comprehensive informed consent process that provides participants with clear, concise, and accurate information about the research study, its risks and benefits, and their rights and responsibilities. This process should include written and verbal explanations, and participants should be required to sign a consent form that demonstrates their understanding and voluntary agreement to participate. 2. Training and education. Provide researchers and research staff with comprehensive training and education on research ethics, good clinical practice, and the principles of voluntary informed consent. This training should include scenarios that illustrate potential undue influence or coercion, and how to recognize and prevent such occurrences. 3. Standard operating procedures, SOPs. Establish and maintain SOPs that outline the procedures for participant recruitment, informed consent, and data collection. These SOPs should be reviewed and updated regularly to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements and best practices. 4. Participant vulnerability assessment. Identify and assess potential vulnerabilities of participant populations, such as language barriers, cognitive impairments, or socioeconomic disadvantages, to ensure that additional safeguards are implemented to protect their autonomy and voluntary consent. 5. Independent review and oversight. Establish an independent review committee or institutional review board, IRB, to review and approve research protocols, informed consent documents, and participant recruitment strategies. This committee should ensure that the research design and methods minimize risks to participants and that the informed consent process is adequate. 6. Participant advocacy. Appoint participant advocates or research subject advocates to represent the interests of participants and ensure that their rights and autonomy are respected throughout the research process. 7. Risk-based monitoring. Implement risk-based monitoring strategies to detect potential undue influence or coercion, particularly in high-risk studies or those involving vulnerable populations. This may include participant feedback mechanisms, participant ombudsman, or anonymous reporting systems. 8. Data and Safety Monitoring Board, DSMB. Establish a DSMB to review research data and participant safety outcomes, identify potential issues, and provide recommendations to the research team. 9. Participant feedback and complaint mechanisms. Establish mechanisms for participants to provide feedback or report concerns about the research study or their treatment. This may include participant surveys, focus groups, or anonymous reporting systems. 10. Continuous quality improvement. Implement a continuous quality improvement process to review and refine research protocols, informed consent processes, and participant safeguards. This process should involve regular audits, quality assurance checks, and root cause analysis of any adverse events or violations. 11. Collaboration with external experts. Collaborate with external experts, such as bioethicists, research ethicists, or participant advocates, to provide additional oversight and guidance on research ethics and participant protection. 12. Accountability and consequences. Establish clear accountability mechanisms and consequences for research staff who violate research ethics principles or fail to implement rigorous safeguards to prevent undue influence or coercion. By implementing these measures, our organization can guarantee that researchers implement rigorous safeguards to prevent research participants from being subjected to undue influence or coercion, thereby upholding the utmost respect for their autonomy and voluntary consent throughout the entire research process.